Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. The day hath cometh, ladies and gents. Rings of Power episodes 1 and 2 have been released by Amazon Prime, and all the things that they have released in terms of marketing and advertising and interviews, etc., they are all in the past because we have the proof of the pudding in front of us. And with the first 2 episodes being released this week and then an episode each week afterwards, some of you might be tempted to say, I have seen my fill. Well, let me tell you, good people, I have seen what you have not seen. But as I have seen plenty, you have not seen what I have seen. If you're not impressed with the first 2 episodes, I know where this is going. I know all 8 episodes. And folks, you're in for a fun ride. And by fun, I mean, that's what I mean. Oh boy. I've been very close guarded with the information because first and foremost, you hope that it's correct. You know, you don't want to reveal too much if you've been given some duff information. But I can say with full confidence that the first 2 episodes marry up absolutely perfectly with the information provided. Oh no, which means from here on in, I would thoroughly advise you to buy a nice pillow set because the vast majority of this series is going to be very boring indeed. But I'm doing 2 videos today. I'm going to do a review of episode 1, and then later on, a few hours later, I'm going to release my video of episode 2. And then later tonight, UK time, about 9:30 p.m., Gary time, 10-ish p.m., we're going to be, of course, on Friday night tonight, and we're going to be discussing the whole of the 2 episodes of Rings of Power. I also think a little bit of She-Hulk episode 3, but I think that it's going to be dominated by Rings of Power. So these reviews are going to be spoiler reviews, and if I may be so bold, folks, you ain't missing much. So if you think, oh no, I can't watch because spoilers, don't stress it. Trust me on this one. Don't stress it. So let's get into it, shall we? Oh boy. I just want to give some generalized statements first of all before we go in. First of all, what was my kind of overall opinion on the show? It wasn't great. It wasn't great. It wasn't even good. This is as well, slightly below mid as you're ever going to get. There are a couple of things which really stood out for me. Number one, the elves do not in any capacity feel like elves. They feel like regular people. There's nothing ethereal about them. There's nothing mystical or magical or special about them. In actual fact, they just come across as a bunch of cross-dressers. The men are very femmy. Galadriel is the worst character in the show, and that's not because I want to jump all over Morfydd Clark. No, she's genuinely the worst character in the show by a country mile. Obnoxious, unlikable. Yeah, it's just every time she's on the screen, she literally just sucks the life out of it. And just the fact that she doesn't listen, she doesn't care, she's very self-absorbed, she's very selfish. She's all the things which modern day feminists believe a strong woman is and isn't. Quite the antithesis. It's, again, something that they would relate to a toxic male and scream to the high heavens all day, yet they give those characteristics, excuse me, they give those characteristics to this character. and make her the most unlikable thing on the screen at all times. And the other thing, which I think is absolute trash, is the music. This music, and you know, I know that this music apparently has been done by Bear McCready and you know, from the films as well, composers from the films, but the music is dreadful. It just doesn't seem to fit what's going on here at all. It's very generic, it's very boring, it's very bland. The beginning credits are just, it's not good. So when you have those two major factors, and let's just say that in the first episode, nobody of any particular worth shines. Guess who's coming for second breakfast? Elf is he's okay. I forget what his name is. The apothecary woman. I mean, they seem to have a very different story altogether. I mean, those two just look like they need to go into the woods and fuck. The way that they give their energy off. It kind of doesn't feel like love. It feels like lust. And it feels like they really need some alone time. Now, I give them props because that means I definitely buy into the fact that those two are into each other. I mean, they want to be into each other. I mean, he wants to be. You get the drift. But it comes across as just very sort of, like I said, just lust-ridden. It just doesn't seem... Anyway, I don't know, it's weird. It's all weird. Let's get into it, shall we? So we start off the episode with some beautiful Galadriel bullying. She doesn't want to... This is the beauty of the show, right? The kids are playing together, and she's sat away from the kids, and she's building this origami ship, which is going to go onto this little river, this little stream, and then it's going to open up and become a ship and sail away. And all it shows is Galadriel is somebody who doesn't want to socialize with anyone else. Probably thinks she's above the children. Let the children play, even though I am a child. I am going to be more sophisticated with my leisure time. And so the kids, they start throwing stones at her boat, and the boat gets hit, and it goes into the water, and it's all soggy. And it's boys and girls, as you can see, who are bullying Galadriel. Galadriel, my girl, Galadriel. So her brother comes along, and he says lofty nothing, you know. Oh, what if a rock can only see down, but a light sees the bottom and also the top? It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Makes sense. So then they go back to home, and then they talk about Morgoth taking away the light from the trees. I don't know the name of the trees. Don't come at me. Before the light, you know, then we have the war. Then we have a brother getting kilted. We have her stacking up helmets, you know, and stuff like that. Good times. She had a good laugh. We got the mark of Sauron on her brother, and then she takes his dagger because she is now going to take up his fight. She, for apparently hundreds of years. Now, one thing that the show doesn't do a good job of is the passage of time and how they are showing off the passage of time. But she nips off with her group of elves, and they are searching for Orc and for Sauron, which have not been seen for, I think, hundreds of years now. And then troops are falling, and this dude's just like, look, we haven't found anything in hundreds of years. Can we please go off home? But GUYladriel, as she is now, of course, she's like, no, I, more than anyone, wish to return home. No, you don't, you lying cow. You don't. You are so driven to find these orcs and Sauron, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but you're so driven that you just don't think of anyone else. So pretending that you want to return home, don't buy it for a second. Neither do anyone else, by the way. So it actually comes across like Galadriel's a big fat liar. They go into a cave. They find some activity, some Sauron activity, some detractor activity, if this is DSP. And then the snow troll comes in and it just beats the shit out of everyone. And GUYladriel just takes it out. No problem. No problem at all. Rings of power, 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 rings. So her elves go, screw this for a sausage sandwich, we're off home. And she can't really do much, so she has to go back home with them. Couple of humans doing some hunting and looking around, saying, oh, there's some Harfoots around here. And then a load of Harfoots pop up. And I can literally smell the screen. Oh, gee. And the Harfoots are played like discount hobbits is the only way that I can describe it. They don't seem to have the fun elements of the hobbits from, I haven't read the books, I've just seen the movie. So I'm a normie. I'm a Lord of the Rings normie. Okay. So I've seen the films. I love the films. So that's kind of my own, not necessarily source material, but that's my own. That's the interpretation that I have seen from Peter Jackson. So based off of that, they just come across as discount hobbits. There isn't any real fun. It doesn't seem right. And fake Frodo here and fake Sam just do not have anywhere close to the screen presence and personality of Elijah who? You know what I mean? So they're dicking around, and they're dicking around in a blackcurrant field, and then there's a wolf. So they say, hey, let's go back home. That was fun. Elrond is being a Femi Elrond, because this is Femi Elrond. I do not pick up a sword, I pick up a pen. I am the Elrond of diplomacy and not battle. I leave the battling to the women. I am too fragile to do such things. Because I am Felron. Shut up, Felron. Just because I hit the space bar by accident doesn't give you the right to speak. So Galadriel has returned home to Lindon, or where Femrond is based. Oh, look, I shall touch your cheek, fair maiden. Allow me to look at it. Oh, Femdon is so happy. Oh, you touch my fair cheek. I am but a chaste maiden. And they have a bit of a chit chat, and they walk, and there's some nice cinematography. Some of the special effects here actually do look quite nice. The environments. Other than that, I can't really praise this too much more. And he talks about, it's time for us. We've won against the orcs. It's time for you to realize that. And this resting bitch face that GUYladriel has on right now is that is essentially the default look of this character. Now you can see that we are nearly halfway through the episode and I'm pretty much smashing through this. Do you want to know why? Because the conversations that they have are dull as dishwater. The dialogue isn't compelling or interesting at all. And none of these characters that I've seen interact with each other so far have an ounce of chemistry. They've got about as much presence as Santa Claus has on December the 26th. Just think about that one for a while. It's quite clever. I think it's quite clever. Is it? You get it? Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Whereas I think back to Fellowship of the Rings, for instance, and I just look at the instant chemistry Elijah Wood had with Gandalf. I should really say Sir Ian McKellen. And then I think of the instant chemistry that Ian Holm had with Sir Ian McKellen. Because these are great, great actors at the top of their craft. And it's just so bizarre. Because they're movies. But this is way more expensive than they are. And these characters, there's nothing. I feel nothing between them. I feel no friendship between GUYladriel and Femrond. Why? Because they don't feel like Galadriel and Elrond at all. They feel like imposters. They feel like fakes. Do you know why? Because they are. That's exactly what they are. And so I can't buy for a moment their friendship because it doesn't appear to exist. Then we have the Harfoots, and again, I don't feel this is meant to be a dad. I don't feel anything between these characters. There doesn't appear to be. I mean, this actress here who's playing hobo Helen Bonham Carter. She's I feel she's trying, but she's just not getting anything back from the other cast members around her. So I got to give her some credit because it feels like she's really throwing herself in, even though she's discount Frodo. But whew, this Harfoot stuff is difficult to watch because it doesn't feel in any shape, way, or form genuine. And as regards to GUYladriel wanting to speak to the manager, when Grace Randolph says that the Rings of Power managed to make GUYladriel not only a Mary Sue, but also a Karen, just shows you how bad this character truly is, because that's Grace fucking Randolph. Infatuator of John Cena's Penor. Because before this, in the scene that she had with Femrond, she just kept saying, Femrond was just like, you know, it's we've won. It's time for you to accept that we're victorious against the orcs, and you're going to be rewarded by Gil-galad, and you're going to get you're going to go back to Valinor. And she's just like, I want to speak to the manager, Gil-galad. So there's a ceremony where all the elves that have been out there for hundreds of years trying to hunt down the orc are going to get to go home. And they're going to go home and they're going to get, you know, whatever it is. And they're going to go across the Sundering Sea, west across the Sundering Sea, to go back to Valinor. And that's quite important, folks, okay? Because there's a huge kind of like head scratch, oopsie doopsie later on. So Galadriel, she at first refuses to acquiesce to this ceremony, but eventually does. And she's going to go on the boat with them, and they have some nice fireworks. This is when we have the, you know, put up your sword, GUYladriel. And she says, if I put up my sword, who am I? I don't know. Maybe watch the Fellowship of the fucking Rings, bitch. And then you'll see exactly who Galadriel is. And the power that they truly hold. While retaining their femininity and likability and strength. Because that was a well-written character. And you are not. Nor are you a well-acted character. And we also have the you have not seen what I have seen. Because she keeps seeing these flashes of the mark of Sauron. And he's like, I have seen my fill. You have not seen what Karen Galadriel has seen, all right, bitch. Right? Fucking hell, woman. Jeez, are you on your are you on the rag? Is it 24/7? 365? Fucking hell. Bitch, you need to smile more. Just saying. So we have all that nonsense here. And GUYladriel comes across as, look at it, look at these crazy eyes. She's got fucking crazy eyes. That is just on the verge of insanity. This is not Galadriel. I don't know who this imposter is, but they are not Galadriel at all. Not even close. So then we do like a Game of Thrones thing. They do this Game of Thrones thing where they go on a map and then they go and move to another part of the map. So it's kind of like the opening of Game of Thrones. Bezos got what he wanted. And then we get, guess who's coming for second breakfast? Turns up to a pub, a bar. Some of the humans are very anti-elf. I don't know if this is, are they anti-elf or are they anti-black? You know, they're talking about pointy ears and shit. So they're talking about elves, but is this low-key racisms? Okay. But he retains his composure, and I don't mind this character at all. You know? But there again, I'm basing it off the character, not the color of the skin. Like the whole of the marketing and advertising around the show has. But he remains calm, keeps his composure, and even stops the kid who's harassing him from getting a beating. Because he's above all that. Does he come across as an elf, though? No. Because elves do not come across as elves. They do not come across as these almost ethereal beings. They just come across as just an every other race on the planet. And that's not how it should really be. At all. Pure vodka. So he has a conversation, like I said, with the missus, and they are just like, they are thirsty. These two are just like, they just want to go into the woods and long, you know, he just wants to long dig the shit out of it, and she's ready for it. As I said, I don't really feel any particular love, but I do feel, you know, lust and desire. So sure, we'll go along with that. And then his partner was just like, oh, hey, what's going on between you? And it's pathetic. And then this guy's like, hey, you've looked over these people for like 79 years or so, 70 odd years. Time to go. Don't worry, they ain't worth it. Let's go. This is Theo. There you go. This is Theo, the son, who's half elven, but it hasn't been revealed yet, I don't think. And he talks about, oh, there's mice under the floorboards, and it's orcs making tunnels, but whatever. I don't know what fucking mice they have on the Middle Earth, but geez Louise. So we have some other stuff, and then he turns back up after deserting the elves, I think. And somebody's got, oh, I've got a sick cow, and in black goo comes out of it instead of milk. And Theo shows off his Sauron sword to some guy who gets cut. Isn't that nice? If I said to you, this is a gay porno, and showed you this image, this image here, this is a gay porno that I bought. Why? Don't know. Never mind. But let's not go into that. It's weird. I think quite a few of you could believe that. The feminizing of the males is ridiculous. I never recalled Elrond in the Jackson movies being feminine or perceived as feminine in any way, shape, or form. Hugo Weaving's masculinity came through. This feels like a sketch from the League of Gentlemen. That's what this feels like. Oh, come now. The kids are going away to bed. Let's do our thing. Holy cow. So Gil-galad says, hey, have you heard of Celebrimbor? And he's like, of course I have. And he's like, well, you can fuck off and meet some dwarves. I got news for you. You're going to go meet some dwarves. So we get some thirst. We get some Harfoots, and then we get the meteor is starting to go across. Now then, the elves are stripped of their armor as they get closer and closer to Valinor, and they are on the verge of entering it. Literally, like this opening of light happens, and they're singing this operatic song as they enter. So they must be way over now on the Western continent, going from Middle Earth. So what the fuck time period has passed? Because you're showing Harfoots dicking around, and now you're literally showing them. Just imagine. Let's just imagine that from Middle Earth to Valinor is the same distance as Liverpool to New York. How long would a sailboat like this take to get there? Weeks. Whatever. The passage of time. There doesn't seem to be any laws as regards to the passage of time at all. It's like this is the next day and they're there. So as they're getting accepted in, GUYladriel's just like, no, give me my brother's dagger. And she grabs the dagger and she jumps into the ocean. She jumps into the fucking ocean where she is nearly at New York Harbor, and she wants to swim back to fucking Liverpool. How does this make a lick of sense? Whatever. And then the meteor lands, and there's a guy in the middle, and it's fake. It's fake Gandalf, and that is the end of the first episode. And that is an hour, as you can see, of footage there. It was boring for the most part. The characters didn't connect. GUYladriel is fucking abysmal. The male elves are feminized to comedic effect or cowards. You pick one. The Harfoots are struggling to I don't even know what the fuck they're doing in this thing, but whatever. And guess who's coming for second breakfast? Looks like he really should just be making a porno with the apothecary, which I might watch. I'm just saying. And then other than that, oh well. So yeah, I can't give this any more than like a 4 out of 10. I really can't. It's below average, but it's not. You know, there was some nice imagery. Some of the special it's weird because some of the special effects look really good and some of them look fucking terrible. But some of the environments did look nice, and it was nice to see that they had used some you know, out of studio on location footage, which was desperately needed, I think, to authenticate this world. But the world building in the first episode was poor. Absolutely poor. GUYladriel is a joke. Galadriel is just a fucking divot. And Elrond is a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, Amazon's Rings of Power, episode 1, 4 out of 10. I'll see you later on today for episode 2. Until then, you take care. Bye for now.